Unom kadimile motswale Waribu takalerato Leha bilo itule butoko Wenzeta toya.
Coming up on Trendz Travel this week, we are celebrating Mandela Month, and a talented young man makes a beautiful portrait using wood and fire. A new dawn for Dada's home as it has been revamped into a beautiful sanctuary. We combine the true healing power of nature with a spa treatment in Rustenburg.
South Africa is undoubtedly one of the trendsetters when it comes to overcoming difficult situations. It's Utata Madiba who led the country out of the apartheid system. Each year, we celebrate his birthday by doing some acts of kindness. And today, we are with Themba Shabalala from Tembisa, who's going to be doing some artwork to commemorate Tata's birthday. Follow me and let's find out. The Agas House downtown Johannesburg is full of young, talented creatives. And one of those is Themba Shabalala from Tembisa. Shabalala is a visual South African artist who has devoted his time and effort in making art. 6 to 7 minutes of Madiba.
Yeah.
How are you celebrating it?
Doing the best that I can, which is art. You know, I'm a visual artist. All I do is to paint using fire.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, this is a tribute to me honoring the legend, you know, and using the material itself. It's a tree, and we know that he used to be called Rolihlahla.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's quite a conceptual piece, you know,
It is, very
paying
nice.
tribute to the legend.
Very nice. So what values did you learn from this amazing giant?
Always be true to yourself and know your roots and where you're from, you know. I think he was filled with, what can I call, Ubuntu, you know. So he's actually that symbol of Ubuntu, or the symbol of peace, if I may put it, you know. Yeah, so he was a man of principles and a very charismatic individual, you know. And I'm picking a lot from that, you know, yeah.
Shabalala uses wood and fire to create his masterpieces.
Mostly I use, like, you know, not heavily industrial materials, you know, but materials that you can find in a domesticated space. I mean, people that repair fridges or, you know, electronics, you know. This is a soldering iron. You can just find it by the shop, you know. So I use materials that people are using day to day, you know. So it's a language on its own, you know.
But what makes his artwork unique?
Nothing much except the technique. I mean, looking at the subject matter, there are a lot of artists that have done the portraits of Nelson Mandela, but the execution is not the same, you know. We don't have many artists that are using fire on the wood, you know. Yeah, I think that's one thing that sets me aside, you know. Yeah, that makes me unique.
His artwork is inspired by the social and political landscape that he grew under. Shabalala shares more of what inspires his artworks.
Life in general, I mean, my past and everything that happens around me, you know. Yeah. I try to be open-minded and to see the world and interpret it in my paintings, you know. Yeah. So it's more like a freedom of expression, you know. Yeah.
Themba, I can see it's I can actually see Nelson Mandela in this portrait, you know. In the beginning, I couldn't see, but now I can officially see, this is the former statesman.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's always a long walk to freedom.
it is, eh?
Yeah, to actually see that democratical image coming into life.
Nice.
It takes time, you know, and dedication, you know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, next process?
The next process, you'll be joining me, I mean, to fill up the space, you know. Yeah, I do trust you.
Okay, cool.
You know, yeah.
Definitely.
It's not a one-man show, you know.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
After all, we are celebrating 67 years.
Of course, I mean.
Let me just get my ready. Yeah.
So you'll be randomly applying colors at the background,
Okay.
and that can signify, or it can be a metaphor of, you know, Nelson Mandela, or that Nelson Mandela is a father of all nations, you know, the idea of rainbow nation, you know.
So, Temba, this was our 67 minutes to Madiba.
Sure.
Thank you so much for teaching me how to do some art.
No, it's always a pleasure.
This is
man.
67 minutes to me. To teach me how to
Sure,
make art,
sure,
man.
yeah.
Thank you so much, man. It's been such a pleasure.
No, you're welcome,
And I
my
wish you
brother.
nothing but the best, eh?
Thank you so much.
Your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. Same, man.
sharp
Yeah. Same.
The home of Tata Rolihlahla Nelson Mandela is open to the public, offering an experience like no other. Imagine walking where he walked, sleeping in his bedroom, and immersed in some of his daily life activities. Sanctuary Mandela is not just a hotel, it's a home, a place of reflection and tranquility. In these trying times, it's great to look back, find important lessons that you can apply presently and into the future. And this is just the perfect spot.
Sanctuary Mandela is a 9-bedroom premier home, ex-home of our previous president, Nelson Mandela. And what we hope to do is welcome people through to experience what Mandela used to enjoy, not just in food, but also in the kind of company that they can expect to see here. So it's just really something special. A 9-bedroom home, which is very important for us. We don't want to call it a hotel specifically because we do not entertain clients. We welcome guests to someone's previous home, and it's still a home, very much so. So that's kind of just encapsulates what Sanctuary Mandela is. Our target market is everyone at the end of the day, but more specifically, I would say people that need some time to reflect. We've curated so many different experiences throughout the hotel where you can just sit and have time to think about those big decisions in life, whether it's a business person who has to make decisions that he needs to get to, or a president, or a ruler of any country, prince, king, whatever. Scholars also, scholars that need a place to reflect as well. Those would be the main people that we want to attract, but at the end of the day it is open to everybody as well. You will find quiet spaces everywhere else, but what we've done here is we've literally chiseled out little spaces where things are quiet, and we're not going to be that kind of hotel where it's everyone's coming and just taking selfies everywhere. We really want to keep the place as calm as possible, a place where you can really be submerged in your thoughts.
One of Madiba's favorite pastimes was spending time planting vegetables and flowers in his garden. And in honor, the kitchen will pick fresh herbs from this garden. So why did they turn the house into a hotel?
It's honestly exercise. We've also noticed that having museums, some of the places that have been turned into museums have kind of been left open and are not really being taken care of properly. This place is supposed to be self-sustainable in the next couple of years, and it's also going to be able to take care of itself and produce new opportunities for other possible Nelson Mandela properties as well.
And some of the original pieces were kept intact.
So this was the original wall, and we've kept it as a feature in the house so that it can bring a bit of reverence as well. So now we're going to go into what was Madiba's actual room in the house. So follow me. To try to keep the color green, or use the color green on the bathroom walls, because it's supposed to represent rebirth or new beginnings. And that's kind of important for us here at the hotel as well, or at the house, because this is a new beginning for the space. And that's kind of what we want to resonate with. And of course, it's the same tone that we use in our flag.
Different parts of the house have been carefully curated, with each corner representing the different stages in Madiba's life. In the past few years, this home was falling apart and now is a stunning place of peace, carrying history and a hope for the future.
So you'll kind of sit over here, you'll walk through, you'll sit over here looking onto the garden and listening to the water, to the fountain, yes. And that's kind of the idea. So really a piece of tranquility.
Udada also loved taking walks around the neighborhood. Up next, a much-needed treat at a spa in peaceful Northwest. Also a few tips on how to do it at home.
The healing power of nature is felt in moments of serenity and tranquility. Finding an ideal spot in nature to connect with loved ones over a picnic doesn't only allow for an opportunity to catch up, but it also renews and restores the connections we have with friends and family. That's why the Hunter's Rest Spa is situated in the center of the Magaliesberg Mountains to allow for an uninterrupted access to nature. The spa's interior resembles that of a modest home to give the clients feeling of being at home while they enjoy different variety of therapy.
In terms of like the place and how we've set it up internally, going for like that organic look, natural look, so that people feel that they're coming into maybe someone's house, a welcome feel, a warm feel, not a clinical environment. I think, for people, it should be a sensory experience when they walk in and like an escape. So what better escape than nature? There's no other place or other area that will give you that kind of healing that you get from nature. So to be immersed in nature in this way is like the perfect setup for us.
The different treatments that are offered by this establishment are highly driven by the use of natural herbs.
For us, I think by far probably the full body massage, because you're treating every aspect of yourself when you're doing that. If you want to say more notably, the full body hot stone, that one's very, very popular.
And if you want to continue the treatment at home, you can pick 1 or 2 essential oils to use from the spa.
And there are lots of at-home remedies you can use, if you, like you say, you don't have access to a spa, or you're unable to come to a spa for whatever reason, you can make your own home spa. And, you can make sure that in the shower you can use natural oils if you have access to that. And then just sort of like have a steam where the pores are opened up, and after you've steamed, like just after a shower, in your shower as well. Do a good cleanse and exfoliation for the skin, and then moisturize thereafter. And make sure you're keeping the skin clear. Besides that, other natural remedies, we use like yogurt. Amazingly, that's like got lactic acid inside, which actually exfoliates the skin as well, and that's very, very good. So you can just take, your simple yogurt from your fridge, or if you don't have yogurt, you can use milk, and then in there a little turmeric. Turmeric has got a natural brightening agent, and most people have that in their kitchens. So that's another thing that you can mix with the yogurt as well. And if you want a bit of exfoliation, you can add a bit of sugar or salt and make a scrub from that. And you can apply it on the skin after having steamed the skin, and then leave it on as a natural mask, and then wash it off afterwards. So there's lots of home remedies, and the internet is a fabulous place to go, because we're blessed with so much information today.
After the treatment, you can take to the balcony for some good quality time with a good book, or just laze around in the jacuzzi.
There's a lot of tranquility that one finds in the areas of Ixopo and Mzimkhulu. Maybe that's why Amabhaca chose this area to settle. The story goes that Amabhaca came from the northern parts of KwaZulu-Natal and then eventually settled in areas that include the southern parts of KwaZulu-Natal, like Mzimkhulu, where I am today. It is Ilembe, that is King Shaka, who then named them Amabhaca, which means people who are in hiding.
Kwakhona ukubaleka uma sebebalekileke bahambe ukhalo olude behamba belwa nezimpi namanye amakhosi abawathola endleleni bawehlule baqoqa isizwe samabhaca.
While having made the decision to leave the lands of the Zulu, some of the ways of the Zulu remained, like the style of house. In African cultures, round huts must be spaced out in a particular way, and they all have a particular meaning. At Nokita Lodge, they've modernized their round huts.
They come from when our forefathers, they were using mud huts, and not only for just them to live, but they were also attached with culture on them to communicate to our ancestors. That's where you go, and to speak to them. And maybe on top of that, we have what we call Inkulu in our culture, which is the elder son, where they build another hut which is looking like the one behind us, which is called the Intanga Yesoka in Zulu. So where even your mother is not even allowed to walk into that hut, because in there, that's where is the beginning of the relationships, if I may put it like that, where we will have visitors, your girlfriends and stuff like this.
Mzimkhulu municipality, we've got Entsigeni Ecotourism, which is a cultural B&B with thatch roof. Everything is cultural about it.
I also hear that a homestead with this kind of setup would see many feasts and traditional ceremonies, dancing and singing being a part of it all.
Into yakhona kufanele sidlale. Into yakhona kufanele siyazi. Njengoba singaka njena nabancane babonela ukuthi sesingaphambili mangaba endaweni kuzoba nomcimbi kabani sihambe siye emzini othile socela indlu ngalesikhathi behlele egudulweni lapha besibukile nabo bayabona ukuthi ingoma into enjini iculwa kanjini ishaya ubani ukuze nabo bakhule beyazi.
Because livestock is a huge part of the ways of the people here, young men need to learn to ride horses and tame wild ones from a young age so they can be herders.
Angakaze ngiyuracer kodwa ngeke ngizwe ukuthi khona abaresa khona la endaweni kwenda kuthiwa ke enhlabeni ke abanye baye khona. Into engiyithanda kakhulu sisilwa nje sizilungele na uma ulungile naso silungile mokuthi wena sikhohlakalela.
Over many decades, the language, cultures and ways of Amabhaca of Ixopo and Mzimkhulu were disappearing because of being placed in what was Natal and Transkei, which led to isiZulu and isiXhosa being taught in school. That also came with being dominated by other cultures. But there are players in the local cultural tourism sector who aim to revive and teach what was almost lost.
Hela, wakula kula che, hela, utsiriki bahapalaza. Hela, wakula kula che, hela, utsiriki kaurata. Utahona upakadi daba, uchikele homa udishwashwate. Bilinyanda uya homo mamuhoti uditwakate obate buditi oh utahona upakadi daba, uchikele homa udishwashwate. Bilinyanda uya homo mamuhoti uditwakate obate buditi eh hakobute amafufufe ai hakobute hakobute fera hakobute hakobute fera hakobute whoa Jesu Helifele Mokitsamaya Ulahlehile Babangata Impana Impana ha 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 Helifele Mokitsamaya whoa, 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 whoa. Une unkadimile motswale wariputsa ka lerato le hapelo e utlwile bohloko o yentse thato ya hao ntumelle hle ntate katisetso le mamello ka hohle hohle ke leke hore ho lokile